The Ghost Echo of the Canyon, 2011, Arizona, USA. They say a canyon always answers back, but in the winter of 2011, one canyon in northern Arizona answered with something no one had ever heard before. A single shout, followed by a chorus of voices that didn't belong to anyone standing there. Not human, not natural, not possible. And it all began with a simple dare on a cold February morning. Three hikers, Lena, Marco, and Brian, had set out before sunrise, chasing the kind of silence only the desert can make. The sky was still a deep cobalt when they reached the edge of the narrow sandstone canyon, its walls dropping straight down like a perfectly carved wound in the earth. Marco, always the loud one, cupped his hands around his mouth and yelled into the void, expecting the usual quick return. One, maybe two echoes bouncing back in predictable rhythm. But instead, nothing. Not at first. The silence hung so long that they laughed awkwardly, assuming the canyon simply swallowed sound at that angle. And then, just as they turned away, the first echo struck. Late, distant, and strangely stretched, like Marco's voice had traveled miles before remembering to respond. Then came another. Then another. Then another, each one stranger than the last. What began as Marco's unmistakable shout slowly warped, flattening and twisting, until the echoes no longer sounded like him at all. They were softer, older, layered with tones none of them recognized. One echo rose like a whisper, another cracked like an elderly breath, another trembled with a quivering vibrato, almost frightened. Lena froze. Brian's flashlight shook in his hand, and Marco, suddenly pale, insisted he hadn't made any sound after the first yell. But the canyon kept speaking. Echo after echo, drifting up the stone walls in rhythms that defied physics, arriving long after they mathematically should have ended. Some seemed to slide sideways. Others shifted pitch midair. One even sounded like it called a name, none of theirs. They backed away slowly, instinctively, as though stepping away from a wild animal. The echoes finally faded, not in a tapering whisper, but abruptly, like someone flipped a switch. The hikers later learned that this particular canyon was known for rare acoustic traps, tiny chambers carved by water where sound can ricochet for far longer than normal. But even experts admitted nothing about what the trio heard made sense. The delay, the distortions, the voices no one made, and the way the canyon seemed to choose when to stop. To this day, locals call it the ghost echo, a reminder that sound does more than move, it remembers. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.